Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and this is going to be a Palo Alto Networks firewall video in which we're going to be configuring VLAN interface, source NAT, zones, security rules, virtual routers, and more. So let's go ahead and start. So what I want to do is, let's go ahead and change this title right here. This needs to be VLAN 1. So I have configured the IP addresses for this server over here, which is actually .2.3. And I also configure the IP address for this server over here. And the Palo Alto Networks doesn't have anything configured yet, so I'm going to be configuring everything right now. This router over here, it is a Cisco router, and it has this IP address configured, and it also is able to, or is already has a default route to the Palo Alto network, so we should be able to communicate as soon as I configure this Palo Alto Networks firewall. So let's go ahead and start, guys. The first configuration that I want to do is that I want to configure the inside network. So I want to have inside connectivity, and then I'm going to move on to the outside and do source NAT and all that good stuff. So the first thing that I want to do is configure a VLAN, and this VLAN is going to be for the inside VLAN over here. And this one is going to be a virtual VLAN. And this virtual VLAN, let's just say virtual VLAN layer 3 for my inside network. That's what I'm going to configure for my inside network. So the VLAN right now, I don't have anything configured yet. My virtual router, I also do not have a virtual router configured yet. And the security zone, I have a couple configured already. So I can go ahead and check one of those. I want to just say this is going to be for the inside. That's good. The security zone. Virtual router, like I said, I don't have anything. Let's go ahead for the IP addresses. Our IP address is going to be 198.2.1/24. And like I said, these servers have already their IP addresses configured, and they are their default route is to 192.168.2.1. That's why I'm configuring my Palo Alto Networks firewall to have this IP address. So here we go. This is good. Let's go ahead and go into advanced, and let's go ahead and add a new management profile. And I want to be able to allow ping, so I can configure my connectivity. Ping, looking good. Let's go ahead and select OK. There we go. So now let's go ahead and configure virtual routers. I want to configure two, one for the outside, one for the inside. So this one, I just want to call it inside. And since I have an interface already for the inside, I can go ahead and add that, which is VLAN 1. There we go. So we have VLAN 1 inside that virtual router. Then I want to go ahead and add another virtual router, which is going to be called outside. If I know how to spell it, there we go. I'm not going to add any interfaces to it, because I'll have to configure that interface. Then after that, we want to configure a VLAN. This one is going to be called VLAN 1, and the interface that we want to add is going to be VLAN 1. There we go. So we have the zones. All that is good. So now what we want to do is, let's go ahead and go into interfaces. Let's go ahead and go into Ethernet. So 1/1 is going to be for the inside network. So over here, I want to make this a layer 2 interface. It is a tap right now. We don't want it like that. Let's go ahead and make it a layer 2. For the VLAN, we can put in VLAN 1. Security zone, I have already one configured, but if you want to configure one, you can just go ahead and create one. But I'm going to add it to the one that I already have configured. So I'm just going to add it to VLAN 1. To advanced, auto, let's just go ahead and bring it up right away. Continue. So it is in VLAN 1. The security zone is inside V. Let's go ahead and take a look at my VLAN interface, layer 3 virtual interface, which is a logical interface, logical layer 3 interface. Inside, there you go. The router is inside, the security zone is inside, the VLAN is VLAN 1, the IP address is good. Let's go ahead and commit our changes. And while that is committing, I want to see if I'm able to ping that layer 3 virtual interface. And so let's go ahead and just wipe it, because there is a bug in even G. I'm still going to over here, but that's fine. So what we want to do is this is VLAN 1 -1, and I already configured the switch, so all that is good. This is a Cisco switch, so I want to be able to ping my virtual interface, which is 192.168.2.1. I should be able to ping it from this server. So let's go ahead and go into that server. We are going to go into applications, the terminal, ping 192.168.2.1. There we go. So I'm able to ping it. Great. Let's go ahead and see if I'm able to ping it from the other server, which is in VLAN 1 as well. It's not connecting. Let's go ahead and just go ahead and stop it, wipe it. And after we wipe it, we are going to start that bad boy. And let's go ahead and connect. So this is VLAN 1 computer 2. So let's go ahead and try to see if we are able to ping 192.168.2.1. We should be able to. There we go. So we are able to ping from the two servers. So I'm able to ping from VLAN from this server 2, VLAN 1/2, so server 2, and for server 1 to that virtual interface for that VLAN 1 logical layer 3 virtual interface, right? So I have connectivity in my inside network. So let me see if I'm able to ping from VLAN 1 from this server in VLAN 1-1. Let's see if I'm able to ping this one, which is also in VLAN 1. I should be able to ping it. So let's go ahead and go into this one right here. Ping 192.168.2.3. There we go. So I'm able to ping it. So we have connectivity with the Palo Alto Network Firewall and also between these two servers. So we are good to go in the inside. So now let's go ahead and configure the outside. And the outside is going to have a outside virtual router. It's going to have source NAT. We also have to go into the security. So we are able to ping these two devices over here. So let's go ahead and go into Palo Alto Networks. Let's go ahead and also make this bigger for you so you guys can see a little bit better. There we go. So now let's go ahead and go into the Ethernet interfaces, and for 1/2, which is this one right here, what we have to do is I want to configure this as a layer 3. The virtual router that it's going to have is going to be in the outside virtual router. Security zone is going to be in the outside zone. IPv4 IP address is going to be 20.1.1/24. And we are going to advance, and we are going to add a management profile, so we are able to ping that that interface, because I added this allow ping on this inside, so I want to add it to the outside, so we are able to ping. Good. So that is done. Now let's go ahead and go into virtual routers, and what we want to do is we want to set up a static IP address. So we are in the inside, and the inside has the interface of VLAN 1. So if what I want to do is configure a static route, and it's going to be a default static route. So what I want to say is that actually that's not the name. The destination is over here. The name I want to tell it to go to outside. So this is going to go to the outside. This is a default route that I want to tell this virtual router that if somebody is trying to reach an outside network, I want you to send it to from VLAN 1. I want you to send it to the next hop of next VR, and the next VR is going to be the outside VR, which is this one right here. So if I try to ping any IP address that is not in my inside network, I want you to send it to the next virtual router, which is the outside. So it's going to send it to the outside network. administrator distance, we're not going to do anything like that. Let's go ahead and press OK. Okay. So now we are able to go from the inside to the outside. Now we want to tell it that if somebody tries to ping an IP address, this IP address 192.168.2.0/24, I want you to send it to the inside. So we want to go into the outside virtual router, which also has 1/2 Ethernet interface. So I want to tell it that if we get any, if we get an IP address, if we get an IP address equals to this, I want you to send it to the inside. So we're going to go static. We are going to go add a new one. We are going to say send it to inside. So if it has an IP address of 192.168.2.0/24 coming in 1/2, I want you to send it to the next VR of inside, right? Because the inside has this network over here, this network, right? So if this network, if somebody tries to reach this network, I want you to send it to the inside, because that's where my servers are with this in this network. So let's go ahead and press OK. Okay, so after we do that, the next step that we need to do is we need to allow that inter zone. So we want to go into policies. So inter zone by default, it is denied by default in the Palo Alto networks. Inter zone is when it's going from one zone to another, and intra zone is when it's going in the same zone. So inter zone is when it's going from one zone to another, so from the inside to the outside. And intra zone is when it's going to the same zone. And for the same zone, intra zone, that is allowed by default. There we go. And for the inter zone, it is denied by default. So by default, you are not allowed to go from one zone to another. So therefore, you can either override this by selecting that security policy rule and selecting the override. You can override it, or you can just create your own one. And I just want to go ahead and create my own one. Let's go ahead. Let me see. Let's go ahead and create a new one. And we are going to say the name of this is going to be in to out. And I want to specify the source. The source is going to be the inside. So if we're going to the inside to the destination of outside, or actually to the inside, and also let's go ahead and leave it like this. So the source is going to be the inside, and the destination is going to be the outside. If this rules matches, then the application, I want to leave it as any. The service/URL, I also wanted to leave it as the application default and any. And the action, what I want to do is I want to allow that traffic. So if we allow that traffic, it should be able to go to the outside, and the outside should be able to reply, and it should be able to go in, because the Palo Alto network firewall, it is a stateful firewall. So therefore, if you go from the inside to the outside, it is going to remember that, and it's going to allow that traffic. So you need to first be able to go to the outside, and that's going to create a session ID, and that session ID is going to be added to the Palo Alto networks. And whenever that server replies back, it's going to know that it belongs to that session ID, and it's going to allow that traffic. But if somebody like from the outside tries to send a request into the inside, it is going to deny it, because we are only saying that I want to allow traffic coming from the inside to the outside. So if you want somebody from the outside to be able to go into the inside to request, we need to create another rule. Or even though we can just create in the same rule, we can just add from the source of outside and destination of inside, and that's going to allow that traffic. But we don't want to do that. We just want to do it from the inside to the outside, and the action is going to be to allow it. Okay, there we go. So we are allowing that from the inside to the outside. Let's go ahead and commit our changes. And after we commit our changes, now we should be able to ping from the inside to the outside, right? So we are going to go into this server over here, which is this one. After the Palo Alto Networks is done committing those changes, there we go, process, there we go, all good. Let's go ahead and put this down. So what we want to do is we want to ping from this server over here. We want to ping this router, which is at 20.1.1.3. Let's see if we are able to ping 20.1.1.3. And you can see right here, I am able to ping that router, which is in the outside network, because I specify that rule. I want to allow traffic from the inside to the outside. That's how I'm able to ping that router. And we can also do a, let's go ahead and open this, and we can do a debug so we can see the request. So let's go ahead and enable debug ICMP or IP ICMP. There we go. So now when we ping from this device, we should be able to see the request. There we go. And you can see that the request, it is coming from a private IP address, and that is no good. By default, IPS do not allow private IP addresses. I'm just doing it over here because this is just a virtual a virtual network that I'm running. But by default, IPS or Internet Service Provider, ISP, do not allow private IP address. So therefore, I need to configure a NAT, Network Address Translation. So let's go ahead and do that. And you guys are going to be, I'm going to leave this over here. Let's go ahead and stop those pings. So I'm going to leave it over here. As you can see, it is coming from the private IP address of 192.168.2.2, but we want to NAT it because that's now how it is supposed to be in the real life. We want to do a NAT and add a public IP address. Therefore, let's go ahead and go into the Palo Alto Networks firewall. And over here, we need to go ahead and configure a policy, a NAT policy. And this one, it is called in the Palo Alto Networks world, it is called a source NAT, or source network address translation. So let's go ahead and call it source NAT. You can go ahead and add a description, whatever you want to do. A NAT type, if it is an IPv4, which we are using IPv4, or if you want to do an IPv6, if you're using IPv6 or NAT64 or NAT6. NAT64 is whenever you have a if you want to translate into an IPv6 or an IPv4, you can do that. Or if you want to just do a NAT6, but since we are just doing plain IPv4, we are going to leave it as IPv4. The original packet, the source, where is this source coming from? It is coming from the inside. So let's go ahead and add the inside. The destination, what is the destination? The destination is the outside. The source IP address, if you want to leave it as any, or if you want to specify the source, which is 192.168.2.0/24. There we go. And the destination is going to be any, because the destination is going to be to the outside. So I want to translate a I want to translate any destination. So if it's going to any IP address to the outside, I want to translate it. So and now we go to the translated packet tab, and over here we want to specify that we want to do a dynamic IP and port. And dynamic IP and port, what it does is it adds the IP address and then adds a port at the end. So we are going to use that dynamic port IP, which is 20.1.1.1. And for the IP address type, we want to specify the interface, and the interface is 1/2, which has an IP address of 20.1.1.1. There we go, 20.1.1.1. Press OK. Commit our changes. And after we commit our changes, we should be able to see from the router that it's not going to come from the private IP address anymore, because that's now supposed to be in the real life. It is actually going to come from 20.1.1.1, because we are translating the inside network 192.168.2.0 into 20.1.1.1, right? Because we are only supposed to go to the outside network using a public IP address. So therefore we have to go ahead and do that. So now let's go ahead and ping again the router. And since we're pinging the router again, you can see now that let's go ahead and stop it so you guys can see it. Stop it. Let's go ahead and go back to the router. As you can see before, it was coming as a destination of 192.168.2.2, but now it is coming as a destination of 20.1.1.1 because we are doing NAT. We're doing source network address translation. So that's how you are able to configure that. So this is it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you guys enjoy this video, hey, why don't you just go ahead and follow me on Twitter at CCNA Daily Tips, where I post a lot of networking tips on the Cisco, CCNA, CCNP, Palo Alto networks, a lot of stuff coming up. So go ahead and follow me at CCNA Daily Tips if you have a Twitter account. And if you don't have a Twitter account, hey, go ahead and create a Twitter account and then follow me on Twitter. And also follow me or subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos like this. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.